Howdy. Good
Howdy.
afternoon, everyone.
Howdy.
Howdy. Yeah, hi.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. So today is our demo day for the Apps for Good Summer 2024 program. So in the call today, we have some guests, we have some industry guests, we have our students, of course, our product managers, mentors, board members, all the people affiliated to Team Up here in the call today. And yeah, we'll have some visitors joining in and out depending on the session. But before we start, I'd like to say thank you to all the teams that were involved this summer in the program, building all these applications. We're really proud of you and grateful for your time and for your commitment to our mentors, front end, back end mentors, infrastructures, mobile application mentors. We'd like to thank you for your support and your time. Thank you to our product managers, our project managers, the UX team, and also the wonderful supporting staff, including our marketing team, all the other departments that were involved in making this program a success this summer. Um, I'd like to extend a special thank you to Florencia Mangini for coordinating most of the efforts as far as the weekly meetings, uh, coordinating with the mentors, and pretty much everything that made this entire summer a success. So thank you, Florencia.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Yeah. So um, we're on time. We have a schedule of 20 minutes per team, and we'll try to go as fast as possible. The teams will be presenting their work. So before we start, Florencia, would you have a few words to say? I'll give you the microphone to say a few words before we start.
Well, first, I would like to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to you to organize all this program in all this extension. But also, I would like to say that I noticed that everybody grow a lot during this summer. Not comparing with others, comparing with the first version that you have when you started. So I encourage you to continue looking for opportunities in this program, in other programs, because you grow the most when you are going out your comfort zone, even when it's difficult to speak with others, even when it's difficult to make things that you're not really sure that you're going to be successful. But the thing is, you don't know how capable you are until you try. So, and all the opportunities are opportunities to grow. So please move forward. Let's continue with all the things that you are doing. Everybody grows, even me, even all the people, because everybody move a little more in some areas that they want to grow. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Florencia. So we have a schedule. We're 5 minutes in right now. So we have from 5 p.m., a schedule from 5 p.m. to 5:20 pre-share, from 5:20 to 5:40 campus closets, from 5:40 to 6 p.m. Theo, from 6 to 6:20 read well. Then we have a 20-minute gap, and from 6:40 to 7 we have portfolio. So I'm guessing there'll be a few minutes over. There'll likely be some shifts. So please bear with us. We'll try to go as fast as possible. The way this will go is we'll give the students to present, and then afterwards we'll have a short Q&A. So if you have some questions, you can please use the chat or just unmute your microphone and ask your question. And we would encourage, not even though not required, to have your camera on if possible. So we make this as live as possible and human as possible. So if you can have your camera on, that would be great. Otherwise, that is okay. That being said, we'll introduce the FreeShare team. You guys are free to share your screen however you want to present. I will let you start, and good luck.
Okay, awesome. I've shared, and then Siobhan, you can go ahead and start it up.
Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to FreeShare, a project for the team up. FreeShare is a free, secure platform for the university community to exchange items like book and furniture. So the main purpose of this app is to promote sustainability by reducing the waste and connecting students between each other who want to give away or find items, particularly at the end of the academic terms. So moving on, this is the content we have in FreeShare. So let's walk through our presentation. We'll generally start with the overview of a team, introducing the key members who have driven the development of FreeShare. So also, we take a look at the business problem we aim to solve and what the big picture is. Why is FreeShare essential for a university community? Then we'll discuss the code-based integrations and what the recent changes are merged and which are up to date. Then we'll highlight the key features that we have implemented into the app, showing how they address the needs of our users. We'll also cover some of the development challenges we faced and how we overcame them. Finally, we can conclude with the future outlook for FreeShare and outline the next steps and potential enhancements for the app. So this is a team for the FreeShare. So you can have a look at the names. Yeah. Moving on to Joey.
So I'm going to talk about the overview of the FreeShare. FreeShare is designed to help students and staff at our university exchange items easily. Whether it's textbook, furniture, or other useful things, FreeShare makes it simple to find and share what you need. Our goals are to promote sustainability by reducing waste and to make it easier for people to connect and help each other out. Key features of FreeShare include user communication for easy coordination, pickup and delivery arrangements, and a rating system for transparency. Now let's talk about the business problem. So universities often face big challenge with waste management, especially when students move out at the end of the term. Many students also struggle to find affordable essentials. FreeShare tackled this issue by creating a platform that connects students with donors, making it easier to reuse items and save money. And now let's talk about the key feature of FreeShare. Next slide, please. So now we have some key features that can solve this problem. FreeShare has some great features to make the exchange process smooth and efficient. We have an AI-powered tool that helps rewrite profile description, making them clear and more appealing. There's also an AI that generates image description for better item recognition. Plus, we also set up a CI/CD pipeline with DigitalOcean to ensure our platform is always up to date and running smoothly.
Okay, so for the profile description rewriter tool, there's probably a better way to name that. But so we utilize the OpenAI's API to just literally rewrite the description. We have some parameters that the user can tweak to get different responses. They could change the tone, the temperature increases. The temperature slider will increase or decrease the creativity liberties that the OpenAI API will use. And then we save the descriptions to the database after they've been rewritten. This feature could also be re-implemented into other areas, such as if their descriptions for items that people are trying to trade or sell. They could easily incorporate the tool there. Next slide. For the AI generated image descriptions, we also use the OpenAI API, but we had to use a different model. We had to use the GPT-4o mini model, I believe. And that one has vision capabilities, so it's able to look at the image, and then we can give it also instructions of what to do with the image. So we asked it to just give a quick description of what it sees. So much easier to implement than we would have expected. And there's obviously some really useful, there's just some really good use cases for that throughout the app, such as automatically generating descriptions for things people want to sell, so that they don't have to tediously type out every detail. We noticed that it was able to give pretty good descriptions, even pointing out damage to items in certain areas. So we have strong hopes for future expansions on top of it. Next slide.
Okay, awesome. So next I'm going to talk about the CI/CD pipeline with DigitalOcean. This was done by Maria and Josh. Unfortunately, couldn't make it today, but we're very excited for the work that they put out. Their goal was to automate different scenarios of pushing to main and GitHub and making sure that that automatic push would go into your deployed website in DigitalOcean. For that, we can break it down into two main scenarios: the PR deployments, where the code from the source branch is automatically deployed to DigitalOcean when a pull request is created, streamlining the Q&A and review processes, which is really good for the team scenarios like we are in FreeShare or all the other teams that are working here today. Secondly, they worked to automate the merge deployments, which is the target branch is automatically redeployed with the latest changes upon merging a PR. While they weren't able to make it today, they did offer us this great lucid diagram, which they're using for when constructing the architecture of the system, where you have two main steps you have to do before you can continue your continuous integration, where your pull request helps build, test, and deploy on the feature branch of your code before you push, and that integrates it into the main code branch. For feature improvements, there's a greater need for a little bit more automation testing, and a custom deploy to prod button could be implemented for scheduled releases of branches to main compared to. I guess we could see it on main before we deploy it to the actual website, make sure we could do our own local testing with the other potential databases or APIs that were connected to main through those areas. So yeah. Some relevant links that we have for the repository as a whole, documentation that we created showing some common frequently asked questions, issues you have with setup for the next team that will be taking this on, as well as the API helps that we got overall, the API codebook as well, something we'll add to these links later in the process. Now I will start our live demo of what we have so far. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so thankfully we had the opportunity to do what we Colette and work on a landing page where we had a really good logo, really good just a landing area that kind of shapes how we believe the theme and the kind of inviting tone that we want from the organization as a whole. This is the landing page as a whole, and we have different parts. Our different functionalities overall. Inside the backend, we have a profile gallery where you put information about location, where you work, website, other things that will be really relevant towards you working on FreeShare. You are going to need locations if you're working at a certain college, other similar interests that might cater towards what items you would be selling afterwards. We think those are all really important and could be filled in later in the process. For profile edit, this is where we have a lot of the profile description rewriters, where I can give you a little bit more insight into how this works. We can edit our profile, write an answer or a very generic saying of things that we find interesting. We can decide certain advanced settings. As we said before, there's specific tones you want to create, temperature, which is similar to the creativeness, where there is a certain threshold at which it says some very random things. You can increase your max words or decrease it to a range that you find comfortable. You can rewrite with AI. And I have a different answer. Right now, because I am only on 20 words, it's going to shorten it overall, but you have the option to change that as you wish. And it will get longer or shorter with that. I can accept the rewrite, and I can save it, and then it will be in our MongoDB database for future use if you desire it. Next, we have the option to upload images, which, while we do not have the sharing portion of where you can actually send it to other people, this is a kind of an inherent part that you're going to need whenever you are displaying things that you're going to be selling online with eBay, Amazon, etc. So what we can do is we can choose a file. I've been testing with a wonderful picture of Iro from Avatar. I can upload where it will be sent to our MongoDB database, which we can see later in the image gallery. It creates a description where every parameter that we had in the profile edit can be applied to this description as well, because it's the same model, the same API calls is wonderful. So we can increase the length of this, decrease the length of this, change the tone, which gives it a lot of freedom when designing, or I guess describing the things that you're trying to sell overall, which we feel is really accessible for a lot of people out there. And when we go to image gallery, as you can see, I've been testing a little bit with Iro. You have the option to see every image that you've uploaded, which is really good. It checks out with your login information, so it shows you which account you were on whenever you're doing that overall. And yeah, that is our current live demo of that area. For the DigitalOcean, we have deployed the app on the front end, and there's deployment that I tested pushing right before this meeting to make sure everything was working out. It's deployed on this link. I did it locally just because there is no current button between the front end page and the back end page, just because I think we forgot to implement it right before. But we do have it deployed, and there is some slight automation issues relevant towards how fast it'll update, because there is that two-step process that at least sometimes permission gets a little wonky. But yeah, overall, that's the live demo as a whole. So if there are any questions, we can go to that section of it.
Okay, if nobody has any question, I have one or two. My first question is, do you think that, for the people who developed the integration with the AI, do you think that that was complicated, easy? What was the challenge that you need to overcome in that part?
I think a large part of the challenge is a lot of the documentation that was given to us was done in Python. So certain libraries, certain connectors, and other areas like that were focused on Python libraries, and transferring that to JavaScript, especially at the beginning, was a bit difficult, especially like running the API and sending it through Node, making sure that you had all your dependencies correct. I know for the image, for example, we had to convert it into a base64 image, which I had not heard about before, but that was required to make it readable to send to the API, because the big challenge there was making sure we could upload the image, put it in a usable fashion to get sent to the API, as well as sending it to MongoDB to be saved, and then accessing it from one of those points. So yeah, I think just the implementation into a language that wasn't as heavily covered by the initial documentation on OpenAI's website.
Thank you so much. That is a lesson that we're gonna take for the next cohort. And my second question was, for the people who developed the integration with DigitalOcean, I would like to know how difficult was that, and what were the challenges that you need to overcome?
Unfortunately, none of them could make it today just due to the scheduling and the openings of the meetings. But from what I had the opportunity to discuss with them, it seemed there was a lot of there were sometimes conflicts with MongoDB specifically that I'm not sure if they're always worked out. I know for a lot of the testing we did locally, you would download MongoDB to your WSL, start the server on your own on your local point, and then work from there. And setting that up with DigitalOcean, it seemed to be a little bit more of a challenge, because I think there was some command that you had to put in the YAML codes on the GitHub that needed to be run that I don't think they had enough time to completely test out. Besides that, I think it was just very robust, because a lot of that was you were supposed to be able to write test cases to see whether or not a merge conflict would happen before you do it to before it was able to deploy. And that's why you needed that two-step process where you weren't going to let something that could potentially break the entire model later, or like break your actual deployment of the app, which people still might be using during that time period without enough test cases. So I think it was a lot of challenge for them because they had never done anything like that. They've never had to think about, oh, where might a merge conflict happen in Git? That's normally something that Git will do for you. So I think that was a lot of learning for them there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Can I ask a question? What is the hardest thing that you've learned walking away from this for all the team members? What can you say in like one sentence or a couple words? What did you learn? If someone asks you, how was your summer school? What will you say?
Okay, well, I guess I learned the Marin stack and TypeScript. I had not used TypeScript before. It's not dissimilar to JavaScript, but there's enough of a learning curve there that it was a challenge for me at the start, but I like it a lot now.
I think if I just put into one sentence, it would be consistent communication when working in teams, just because it is a summer thing and it's not everyone's full job. It's important to make sure that like you understand how people's time commitments are changing, because that impacts a lot how much, I guess, manpower and how much work that you guys are going to be able to complete during that week.
Also, I would like to add integrating AI into the project. It was my first time doing such thing. So it was a fun opportunity and a good time to experience this as well.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, thank you guys. Thanks for your presentation. So now we'll move to the next team. That's Campus Closet. You guys are free to share your screen, take over, and you go ahead and present.
Gotcha. Did anyone on my team work on the first set of slides? Because I think we're gonna do order by who made them. I just want to know who, and I can probably share my screen if that's fine with them. Yeah. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is anybody from my team here who made these first few slides?
Hey, I can do the first 4 slides.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing based on what we made. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so my name is Jacob, and I helped the campus closet team on this project over the summer. So the problem is that college students are unable to afford essential clothing for whatever reason, due to maybe like living costs, and they have basically like a hardship. So and it's pretty ineffective to use traditional donation bins. So there needed to be like a direct connection between the students that need clothing and donors who are willing to give clothes to students. So the website is Campus Closet. It is a website that helps students find clothing for professional and daily use. It allows students to connect directly with donors, focusing on providing specifically to students at Texas A&M. So over the summer, we worked on replacing So two things we worked on, we replaced the sign in and the login, moving from we were using Google Authentication and we moved it to Authentication 0. So we're using Authentication 0 because it will allow users to log in and authenticate using their Google accounts or any other social accounts that they have, any other type of email. And then the second issue with the website was that the website is fully functional, but it's not very appealing to look at. So the UI needed to be redesigned to allow easy navigation and a simple layout for a user to understand. So adding both authentication and the new UI design, we hope that it would improve the visual look and create a better user experience when using the website.
All right, did anyone make these slides? Wants to go next?
I can go.
Yeah.
So the new user flow is that users will now log in with Auth0 using their preferred login method, whether it be Google or GitHub or whatever they choose. Then they'll be directed to the home page where they can browse by item type, such as shirts or jackets or whatever other type of clothing, as well as a featured items carousel. And then they can also navigate to different parts of the web page using the nav bar at the top. Once they're on, once they can select items, they can hit the view details button to see more information about the item and who donated it. And they can also see similar items, message the donor, and claim the item. So the student can view the items and the donor's availability, request the item, and they can also chat with the donor and give them a review once they pick it up and leave a positive or negative review. The donor can upload items, so upload items so that other people can pick them up, create time slots that they're available to meet to drop off the clothing item, chat with the person who's requesting, and confirm that the request has been completed. Some of the challenges we faced over the summer was making sure that all of the existing functionality continued to work while we changed the UI to make sure that nothing we changed or added reduced the functionality of the website, and to make sure that the UI was uniform between the different people working on it. So people working on different pages, making sure that there was a consistent styling throughout.
I could speak about the future improvements. I'm Sebastian. I worked on the front end. So essentially what happened is that we got this Figma mockup. But later on within the process, we were given more, I just say we were just given more high quality mockups to build our application off of. A little too late in the process. So we have a nice consistent UI, but now we can see here that we are given some new mockups. So in the future improvements, we would, implement these. And now I can show you the demo video. You see, is there audio in this demo video or no? I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Yeah, you can see it's logging in here. I'll just let it play. You can get an idea of how it works. So essentially what you can see is it's a pretty fully functional app. Looks good. It's extremely consistent. And the best part is that it obviously, it works. And another thing we can also do in future improvements. I know there's this big movement about implementing AI into a lot of these projects and, implementing a feature where you could take a picture of something you're going to donate and then have a description pre-made is another thing we'd also add. But that's our project.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll open the floor for questions. So I'll start in the way you set up your account. So we have a donor's account. You have a student account. Can a student be also set up as a donor? This is all about recycling. Let's say, okay, you have, as a student, you received some items that maybe, you don't want anymore. You would like to put it back in the database. Can a student account also have ability to post or post an item?
Yes, they can. A student, when they sign up for the website, can select themselves as a donor.
Okay.
You mentioned that you were going to use AI to, I'm assuming, detect in the photos which people send in, and so it can detect what certain items are, and it could give a good description off of it. Are there any other ideas of implementing AI into? I mean, it is sometimes hard to, implement it. But did you have anything else in the works of future development with it?
I think as far as now, I think that's pretty much it. Submitting pictures because also you saw on the website, there are no images displayed for the search. We'd start probably with that, and then we would do the AI. But I think as of now, I think that's like enough. That's enough work.
If I might suggest, a cool idea that I got when you were presenting was if a student, because it's to wear these formal apparel for important occasions, but these occasions can have a vast spectrum. It could be an interview, or it could be an online interview, or it can be an in-person, or there's a bunch of different bases, and there are sometimes different edges you can get based off of specific apparel. And not everybody knows this. So perhaps a good AI implementation is if a student were to say, hey, I need formal apparel, but I don't know specifically what I'm looking for. You can tell them what interview or event that they're going to, and the AI can suggest apparel for them.
That's a great idea. Thank you. I didn't even consider that, man. I just throw clothes on sometimes, That's a great idea. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that, image recognition will play a big part in this application, as you have to identify the pain point of your users on both ends. If I'm a donor and I have bins or bags of clothes that I want to donate, the pain point for me as a donor is going through all the items and identifying the size, the color, the gender, whatever. And, doing all the work when I'm already donating, that's not going to happen, right? So you want to reduce that friction by making the app smart enough to ease the process, because usually people go to solve people to use the app. How is it smart enough for me to just scan, right? Scan the closet. It's called the campus closet. If I could scan it, then the app takes care of the rest and identify it, in some way, at least maybe the color or the type, if it's a dress or a suit or pants, all these kind of stuff. And yeah, but AI, as you said, will play a major role over time, and I think this application has potential to grow and have a wide adoption. So yeah, kudos to you guys. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think everyone did great. I think it's extremely cohesive. It looks great.
One last suggestion. I don't know if AI would be part of this. I've seen it been done without AI, but I think it'd be way easier with it.
Yeah.
If essentially it can be used to show you what you would look like if you were to wear them, right? I have no idea how to go about implementing that, but it'd be a very interesting way to know the fit. And I don't know if it could also help with like sizing, because not
Yeah.
everybody knows how to professionally size.
I think it's a cool idea. I think if that was made, you
This,
can, you can pitch that to big companies like fashion companies and stuff. It's a cool idea.
all right, all right. I'm gonna patent that. This isn't really a question. I feel so bad, but I was just wondering if like if you had any ideas like that.
No, I
Should-
appreciate the suggestion. It's a good one.
All right. Well, thank you, Sebastian, for presenting. Thank you to the team. Okay, right on time. We'll move to the next presentation and demo. So we have Theo. Theo, the Campus Tutor listing app. So if the team is there, you guys can take over and share.
Howdy, name's Luke, and I was designated as the team leader for the Theo project. Let me start the presentation. Awesome. So Theo is basically an app that's going to help students find specific tutors for specific classes and specific topics. It's basically making it finding help a lot more widespread and a lot easier and smoother in order to get the help that you need in your academic work. Let's see. It also, offers reviews. The people who worked on this was Brandon, Teresa, Callie, Khan, and me. We have the demo video that I think I'm just going to show you because everybody did a really good job showing. I literally just put in the demo video. No. Oh, here it is. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to show the demo video first or second, but
Up to
actually,
you, however you
I'm gonna
want
show
to
the demo
present.
video first because everybody says their own parts and everything. I think it would be better. But I put it in the beginning. I am so sorry. Hold on, I'm messing up right now. Uh, Dang it. There we go. All right, it should be smooth sailing from here.
Should we expect any audio or is it without sound? Just to know.
Oh shoot. Yes, there should be audio here. Let me see if I can. I don't know why it's not. Oh, because I'm sharing the screen specifically. Thank you, Dr. Kiba. Um, Stop share. I'm gonna reshare it then. Can you hear it now? Once it plays. Can you hear it now?
No.
No. When you share a video, it should be a checkbox that says share audio, if I don't remember wrong.
Okay. Share sound. I'm so sorry. And then we'll do. Does it work if I just share the screen in total?
Sure.
Okay. This entire summer, and I Are we guess good we'll just now? kick things off with.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Hello, my name is Kylie. I worked on adding a contact page that allows
Son of a. Howdy, and welcome to
feedback or ask questions. The page is accessible by clicking on this help/contact us button. And at the bottom, I added a button that opens a contact form. Since the user is logged in, the name and email address fields are automatically populated using the information. Now in order to submit the form, all I have to do is fill in the subject and message. This is a test subject. This is a test message. So now when I press submit, it'll say form successfully sent. So now, if I go to the email I've set it up as, which is currently my email, if I refresh, there it is. So now, if I open this, you'll see that the contents of the form can all be found in this email. A few things to note is that to get this to work, you have to specify an email account and that account's password as environment variables. But since I'm not familiar with other email services, I can actually only guarantee this works for Gmail. And in that case, instead of a password, you would need to use something called an app password, and that's just due to Google's policies. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Howdy, my name is Luke Lopez, and over the summer I implemented the clarification/discussion area for students, so they can choose their selected time and clarify what they want. I need help in traversing a binary tree, finding the maximum value, and then they can choose whatever times that they want. Say if they want this time, then they can request it. It gets sent. And so as a 2D, I can go in and then I can see, hey, I requested this, I sent this. Of course, I could delete it, but I also implemented to where if you're having a hard time reading it from here, you can click on it, and you can see it inside of here in this pop-up. And it also gets sent to the tutor. So recently I sent this one. This is a testing, and I sent it to myself. And as a tutor, I can see it as well, and I can read the description to decide if I'm fit enough to accept or deny this request. We'll accept it. Make myself happy. I also helped design get the link of the help/contact us page, and Kali went forth and made this beautiful page. In the last thing that the clarification topic helped is it helped other team members such as Brandon create his wonderful implementation of the videos recommended API system with the ChatGPT, which is good. And that's what I did this summer.
Hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm going to be showing the chat with AI along with the text-to-speech feature. So here's the chat. It's very similar to what is being used today, so I believe it's intuitive. So this chat is going to help users get information quickly and easily. It can also be integrated with the database to provide relevant website responses. It has the ability to answer questions and provide summaries using the capabilities of the OpenAI GPT 3.5 model. So I want to go ahead and get started with the code for that. So this file is where the server handles the API call. It needs these two environment variables for it to work. As I mentioned, it is the 3.5 model. However, it can be used with newer or different models. For a list of this, you can reference their website. So now I'm going to show how the chat works. So you can go ahead and type in something. So you will get the AI response. Now, this is where the text-to-speech comes into play. So this feature allows the AI's response to be heard. It provides accessibility for users with visual impairments. So I'm going to show that.
In the still of the night, with books in hand, we embark on a journey to understand.
So that's how it works. I hope that was simple and straightforward. That's it for me.
So the first feature that I implemented for the Theo project is going to be logging in with Auth0 rather than the previous implementation that was using NextAuth. This came with various bug fixes and other things like accessing user information that had to change throughout the whole app. So it took a little bit of time at the beginning. And then the second feature that I implemented is going to be this video recommendation. So this is powered by the OpenAI ChatGPT API as well as the YouTube API, kind of working hand in hand together. And so if I make an appointment to be tutored by somebody, once this loads up, and I can say I am struggling to understand integration by parts. For example, schedule it for Thursday sometime. So I just made this appointment. Now if I go back to my dashboard, this is going to update, and ChatGPT is basically going to read my discussion topic and suggest something to search for YouTube, which will then be searched by the YouTube API, and then the output would be displayed here. This way you can get a little bit of context before you go to your tutoring appointment, and hopefully you can help you learn better. So those are the two features I implemented throughout the summer.
Hello everyone, my name is Kale and I'm from the Theo team, and I will demo my task in the project this summer. My first task was modifying the homepage. I added the search bar to find the tutors here and 6 common courses for students to choose. And first of all, I will test the 6 common courses, and when I click each one of them, it will direct students to the corresponding pages. For example, I'll test computer science. If I'm not logged in, I will redirect it to the login page to log in first. It requires the users to log in to continue using. And after login, it will redirect the users to the corresponding courses when they click. So for example, when I click the CACs, it will redirect me to the Be Tutors page with the major CACs, and it will give me all the tutors that has a major CSE, as you can see here. And I'll log out to test the second feature. And the search bar here can search math to find the tutors that teach math. And again, I need to log in to use this feature. If the users already logged in, they will be redirected directly to the page and not required to log in again. You can see the difference is query equal to math. And the search bar in the homepage will do exactly the same thing with the search bar in the Peer Tutors page. And the difference between the buttons, the boxes, and the search bar is query equal to math. It will search all the tutors with the math is a key. Search, for example, math as a courses, or even the name, math in the name. So I can find all the tutors that has a math.
So that was the demo video. We could go through the slides if anybody has any specific questions. We can talk about specific features. I also have the website up in case if you want to thorough live demonstration. So, we'll open the floor to questions if anybody's got some.
Thank you, guys. Well, a question I have is about a feature I saw in the first version of Theo, which is uploading a transcript, right? Because in building your profile as a tutor, there was a feature for uploading a transcript, reading a transcript, getting all the credentials necessary. Is that something that you guys worked on or improved upon? Otherwise, how would you feel about, getting all the grades and all the course information from the tutor? If I'm an English tutor, I could be required to provide a transcript. I need a degree in a certain field, and that will be verified by the system. So yeah, that's my question.
In terms of messing with any of the tutor sign-ins, it's all mainly the same. But we do require in order to become a tutor, we do require you to upload a transcript. So that's the whole thing. But beyond that, we didn't touch any of that.
I asked because I think that could be easily solved because you can integrate like a parser that could help in really, reading the document, getting all the information that you need, right? It's all part of the verification process. So I think that could be done. A team member could take care of that if that's a feature that you guys would consider adding. Yeah.
That is a very good feature. I would actually add on to it and possibly add some sort of compatibility bar. Like if you were to search a specific topics, like using that search bar and say I wanted to search up like help in a specific area of calculus, then it could show compatibility features because some teachers can just say, calculus in general, and then some teachers can be like, well, I'm calculus 1 specific that I've had almost experience with. So that is a good recommendation. So thank you.
Well, I have a question. During the process of develop this application, what do you think that was the most challenging part?
The challenges kind of evolved over time. A huge challenge that we found in the very beginning, I suppose all developers did, was trying to start off at where the previous developers left us off at. We ran into some issues of running up the back end and all that. But once we got that figured out, we just had troubles with signing in. So thankfully, Brandon implemented the Auth0, and we were just able to sign in with our Google accounts and all that. But I do remember a lot was held back, and that was a big challenge, which was the sign in and getting it started. But once we got that, the ball started rolling.
Perfect. Yes, I saw his message, like getting the backend working. So, okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question too? I think I'm synchronized with Florencia and I have my questions clicking at the same time. It seems like you had I might be wrong, but based on the presentation, it seems that you had individual people working on individual features. Can you share some tricks? How did you find it easier to work as a team? What was your way as a team to break the ice and start working as a team? Can you share some of that insight?
Well, I got to give credit to our PM. She every week she would want, she would demand an update, and also videos and our progress and all of that. And so we were well informed of who was doing what. And there were many times, because I'm completely fresh and new in terms of software development, and I I have like huge thanks for Brandon because I just reached out to some of the team members and he gave me like he broke the ice of how I should think about software engineering. And from that, I was able to implement all the features that I was doing. Um, yeah, the organization was a lot thanks to the PM. And if anybody needed help, I guess just the Discord chat. That's really it.
Thank you. That helps.
If I might make a suggestion though, real quick, I believe you'll find it in my survey of the peer tutor. One issue that I've kind of, I guess I could call it an annoyance, or suggestion to have is more roles in the Discord. I can't at everybody because then I'm adding everybody in every single, project and tool and all that. I really don't want to be, pinging Professor Kibo about some front end issue. But also in the very beginning, I didn't know who was who on my team. I didn't memorize the names that very quickly. So, and I didn't know who was front end, who was back end. So a suggestion would just be to increase the number of roles in which people can choose. They can also choose possibly like their level of knowledge in those fields. So if I do have an issue, I know exactly who to go to. And I could possibly go to somebody who's in a different project. It's just a back-end developer is a back-end developer, and they could help me possibly in a different project. So that's just simply my recommendation on how to increase productivity and the network of help.
Thank you, Luke.
Any other questions for the team? Okay. Thank you all. Thank you guys for your presentation. Thank you to the team. The next presentation is on Readwell. So the Readwell team, if you guys don't mind taking the microphone and share your screen.
Yep, I'll be sharing the screen.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, this is Readwell. Our project is, well, I should start with, yeah. So our project mentor was Florencia, and then we had our AI advisors as Dhruv and it is not listed, but our software engineers are Amrita, Ruming, Joshua, James, me, I'm Koda. My name's Prithvi Kapakanda, and Abdil and Aldon. And so the purpose of our assignment is to give a platform for teachers to promote reading on their students by giving assignments for either reading a passage or a book or quizzing for reading comprehension. Let James take it.
Hello, I'm James, and I was a backend developer for this project. My main contributions were the configuration of the Windows side of our local MongoDB instance that our application runs on. I also dealt with the backend regarding how users select their role and when they are detected that they are new. In terms of my next steps, I would definitely expand how users are linked together, meaning like how students can select which teachers they are linked to and vice versa, and also with like parents of students, because currently our UI, we don't have UI for that, and that's what I'll expect.
Yeah, I was a backend developer, and my main thing was working with James to work on the schema of the database and integrating our move from the MERN template project to Readwell, as well as the generative AI. I worked with the database here. This is our database. Is kind of is an overview of what the project really is. The roles are the teacher, parent, student, and an assignment can either give an amount of passages or a quiz, like I said, with the questions. And then with generative AI, what we're doing is we're generating these questions based on the passage that is pertinent to what the teacher wants, the difficulty level, and whatever prompt that the teacher wants to give. Deal.
I'm Abdil Rivera, and I mostly work as a front-end developer. I mostly focused on the teacher side of things. So, for example, anything that the user would see if they were a teacher, that's what I worked on, and the homepage, as well as just a little bit of the back-end integration. And I guess for me, my next steps would just be to add polish to existing pages, just make them look nicer, and then also further develop the UI to, again, just improve the user experience overall.
Howdy, my name is Remy, and I'm a full stack developer for the Rewell team. My main role was to develop the teacher side functionalities like document uploading and processing, and building features for teachers to interact with the students. And for the next step, my next step is mainly to be able to view and manage the students' progress on the teacher's end and have a class to organize all the students.
Howdy, my name is Hao Dong. I was a back-end developer, and my main responsibilities was the assignment and document page for teachers' review. It includes create, list, and assign. And for my next steps, I will try to add more functionalities like filtering and advanced research options. And here is just some example code of both front end and back end, like how do I get the data from the database MongoDB and then show it at the front end.
Howdy, my name is Josh Warner. I was a front-end developer and I did a little bit of back-end. For the most part, my biggest responsibility was working on the student side of the project, working on the student assessment side. So I helped with connecting the database, so posting scores, completion status, as well as refactoring the quizzes to have modular components. So that way we could have any type of questions. Along with this, the biggest thing that I was really thinking about that I didn't get to would be adding a review page with some type of AI or machine learning integration that can give feedback on incorrect responses or even correct responses.
Hi, my name is Amrita. I was a front-end and back-end developer for the project. My main focus was the student view, and I focused on creating the assignment list where teachers and students who are paired together can see their assignment list. And for within the quizzes, different question types would have different front-end behaviors. I think for the next steps, I would add an autocorrection via AI feature that allows prompts to be compared. So what a teacher wants versus what the student provided as their responses. Also in the assignment list, a way to rank and show completion status in a better way, and a UI for pairing teachers with students is the next step. Thank you.
I believe that's the last slide. I think I forgot to go over my next steps. So I was working with AI and I was working with Drew, which is our advisor for ML. And we talked about agents and how that could be used to make it just more a rich experience for the teacher whenever they want to create a question. But I also think we might need to do some interviews with maybe teachers so that we can have a better understanding of what they actually want with the questions. Because reading comprehension questions, they work with it a lot. So they also work with students that do and don't want to read. So it can also help us with our design. That's all for our things. We can take questions now.
We need to show the demo video, right?
Oh, demo video. Okay. Can you hear this? Is that all right?
No, we cannot hear you.
Okay. Let's see what I can do about that. Can you hear this one?
No.
Okay. So I tried sharing the window itself, and then that didn't work.
You need
And
to
I
click in
tried.
share sound.
In the corner.
Yes.
The bottom left corner of the window.
Okay.
And I was a backend developer for the
Does this work?
Readwell project.
Yeah, that's good now. Thank you.
Hello, this is James Bieber, and I was a backend developer for the Readwell project. In this project, I set up and configured the local instance of the Mongo database on Windows devices using a Node.js script. I also took part in the designing of the user model in the different roles consisting of parents, teachers, and students. And I also worked on the functionality that allowed new users to select a role and for that to link to them in the database. Now to demonstrate that. As you could see, I'm logging in as a new user and am prompted to select any of these roles. When I do select one, for instance, student, you'll see that it is updated in the database as well. As you can see, student. This allows for a specific workflow for the user depending on if they are a student, teacher, or a parent.
Hi, I'm Koda. I worked as a backend developer on Readwell. My main responsibilities were planning and implementing the schema for our MongoDB database with James, making some user routes, and integrating the work of our team under the schema in a new repo. Finally, I worked on generating new questions with our ML mentor Dhruv using Google Cloud. After we finished our stories on the MERN template project, we started implementing Readwell stories concurrently, so we needed a new way to consolidate our branches pertaining to Readwell in a new repo. So I created an object relational map on Lucidchart considering our implementations and future user stories. This allowed me to merge our branches by refactoring and organizing our files to be easier to understand for new developers. Then I worked on user logic routes so the front end can interact easily with the database. Also, I worked on implementing the backend to allow a teacher to create questions about a portion of a book using generative AI. The idea with this is to allow quizzes to be made for students across difficulty levels while following a consistent structure with dynamic inputs. I did this by calling Google's Gemini 1.5 Flash model due to its simpler implementation and faster responses compared to OpenAI's API. Also, this could make implementation of a retrieval augmented generation pipeline simpler in implementation and cost if we store the books with Google Cloud Storage. Some next steps for this project may include interviews with teachers and tutors to better understand what they need from this generative AI so we can design a pipeline to focus on specific semantic areas of the book and tune how we create reading comprehension questions. The mission of this project is to promote reading for students, so insights from teachers will likely be beneficial as they have first-hand experience with trying to get students to read more. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Abdiel Rivera, and I worked as a front-end developer for this project. My main focus was the teacher's side of the front end, as well as a bit of the homepage. And so here's most of what I worked on. For example, this is what the teacher would see if they were logged in. And so, they go back to home, they can look at their class, work, got a list of students that they can look at, or, assuming they have multiple classes, they could also go to the search bar and look for the student they want, and then see a little report on how they're doing. And then, of course, there was also the home page. And that was at least the most of it.
Howdy, my name is Remy. I'm a full stack developer for the Readwell team. In this project, my main role is to design and implement the functionalities for teachers to upload their reading documents and make the server be able to store and processing the content of the documents. So right now, I'm on teacher's homepage. It displays all the students and links to other pages. So for this time, I will go to the document page. So this is the document page where the teacher can use to upload their documents. It will also display all the documents the teacher have uploaded along with this document's metadata. So the uploading feature supports almost all common document types like PDF, docs, and even images. The backend will process the document differently based on the uploaded files type. For example, if an image was uploaded, the server will call Tesseract, which is an OCR to extract the text from the image. And later, this extracted text will be used to generate the metadata for the document and be used as part of the prompt for the AI to generate questions for the document. The metadata for the document will be created automatically by the server. That includes information like total word counts or word counts with more than 3 characters, etc., which will be helpful for the user to understand the size and the difficulty of the document. So these are some code snippets for the backend. For example, here, the server distinguishes uploaded file types and processes them differently. Then the server returns the response and save it to MongoDB as the metadata for the document. And here in the MongoDB, you can see the file that I just uploaded. It was stored along with a bunch of auto-generated metadata like title, content, and word counts.
Howdy, my name is Haodong Luo. I'm a backend developer in this project. My main responsibility is create, list, and assign questions and assignments page. First, let's go to a questions page for demo. As you can see, there are a list of questions from database here. Let's create a new question. You can give an answer. Let's just type some random words to save time here. And then let's say this answer is correct. And then you can give it a difficulty. You can give it a type. And then you can create assignment, question. Once the question is created, you can see it here. Now let's assign this question to a document. Let's do demo for the purpose. Let's assign another question. Okay, once we assign the questions, let's go back to teacher's dashboard and go to assignment page. Now here, you can see a list of existing assignments with details. Now let's create a new assignment. You can select a teacher from database to relate to this assignment. You can also select a document and then give it a due date. And then once you select a document, you can see the questions we just assigned to it, and then you can select those questions to assign to this assignment. Now I'll give it a difficulty. We will be able to create this assignment, and then you can see its details, and then you can also assign this assignment to a student. Now let's see it here, assign it here, and then in the database, you will see this assignment is correctly assigned to this student. And then that's it. Thank you.
This is Josh Warner. I worked on the Readwell team as a front-end developer. I just kind of wanted to go through some of the things that I worked on during this program. The main thing that I wanted to talk about was the student assignment page, in which we need to fetch assignment information, post assignment scores, post assignment completion status. I worked on posting these things. So we have our routes here for posting scores, posting our assignment completion status. So just talking before I get to our new assignment, our old assignment had only supported multiple choice, in which the multiple choice was built into the way that it was rendered on the page. Whereas our new assignment, we fetch all of the information from the database, and the way that we display it is by rendering each question uniquely. So we have modular questions now. So any type of question we want to add in the future, depending on database models, we could add. So we have our multiple choice question, we have our true false question, and these are all functional components. And then we have our free response question. Now within these, like I said, at the end, after we finish the quiz, we have to post the scores to the database. So let me run through this. So if we go ahead and go to our student portal, we have our assignment page here. We can begin an assignment. I'm going to get one of these wrong on purpose. So we can see now that our score shows up as 2 out of 3, and our assignment is completed. And if we go look in the database, we can also see that this assignment is not completed, and our assignment that we just completed is completed with the 2 out of 3 correct and the second question wrong. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Amrita Mohandas, and I am a front-end and back-end developer for the Readwell project. My main task was to create the student view page. Once the student is in their portal, they will be prompted with a list of assignments that they've completed and they need to complete. So the teacher paired with this particular student has created a new assignment, and the student can begin the assignment, and then they're prompted with the extracted text from a document that's associated with this assignment. Once the student has read through the document and determined they've learned all they can test their knowledge by answering specific questions. So here is the questions page, and depending on whether the question is multiple choice, true, false, or free response, and whether the response by the user is correct or not, the front-end behavior will change. So I basically created the code that will change this front-end behavior, and a teammate of mine made it modular. I also created some back-end routes to get certain information, like questions associated with a particular assignment. So back to the questions page, this is a multiple choice question, so I'm just going to select an incorrect answer, and you can see which one is correct and which one is incorrect. And for the free response, the student can type it in and see if they're correct or not. And for true false, they can also select what they think is true or not. And so this was also incorrect. And finally, their scores are added up, and they can return to the assignments page to see their score and their completion status. Another task of mine was to create the profile page and a description editor. So here you can edit your profile page and then save it. And if you want to cancel an update, for example, you can also cancel it here. And you can see in the back end that it has been updated right here.
Yep, we can take questions now. That was our video.
Thank you. Any questions?
Hi, I'll Valentina, I'll ask a question. That looks amazing. That looks like the whole team was working nonstop. There's a lot of functionality. How do you know, or how would you measure that your system is working correctly? How do you catch it? Did you think, how do you think about that?
We don't have full stack testing, but we do just test it on our own, and we test it whenever we want to merge into main. First, we merge main into our own, and then test it there, and then merge into main after.
So you think, to translate your answer is that you would be using testing, so tests would be running constantly and checking the health of the system, right? That's what you're saying.
We don't have full stack tests, but we just test it by hand.
But eventually
eventually it would. We would have a GitHub Actions pipeline.
And so that would be the measure number, percentage of the tests that the system. So if 100%, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. In general, for all the team, what are the areas where you think that you grow the most?
Grown the most? I think, at least for myself, and other people can answer their own. I learned a lot about like Google Cloud and just how APIs work. If anyone else wants to go, read them ready.
Yeah, I'll go real fast.
Oh, okay, you can go.
Mine's short. I think the biggest thing for me is I have anxiety with collaboration, and I think by forcing myself to persist through the project, I was able to kind of break through that and actually be able to contribute whatever I thought was good enough, building collaboration.
For me, I think it was taking ownership of user stories, especially when you're assigned a task that you think you don't know how to complete, and then finding a way to ask for help and testing on your own, trying new things, and then presenting what you have done every week was a new thing that I had to do in this project.
And for me, it was the front end, because before this project, I wasn't really a front end guy, and I really had little experience with React. But during this project, I was working as a full stack developer, so I have to work with React. So I just learned along the way, which I think I've really learned a lot. Yeah.
And for me, what I learned most is how to use MongoDB, how to populate data from it, and then how to display it in the front end, and also work as a team with communication, like weekly meeting and Discord communication.
And I found like this project had a lot of moving parts with different aspects on the front end from like student to teacher and like different back end parts. And I felt like it kind of helped me learn how to manage all of it and like communicate with the team and understand where everyone's at, so we can kind of combine all of our stuff and make sure it like works properly.
And then for me, I guess I'd say this project really helped strengthen my my skills with front end, and also kind of open my eyes to just how much I still need to learn in the future if I want to continue down this path.
Perfect. I noticed that Didier has our hands, right?
Sorry. Yes, I have actually two questions. They come from a layperson perspective. The first one was, given that this app is collecting, like if it's used by the client, will be collecting very sensitive data on students. How secure do you like storing the data? All that, have you think about that? And the second question is, how transferable are the skills that you learned through this project are to other projects? Like if you want to do this in another sector, like in the health sector or in a more like business oriented sector, have you learned something that you feel like you could transfer easily to other applications?
Yeah, I think so. Security is very important. We mainly had a focus on just implementing features, but we should focus on that. Our user data is stored in our MongoDB, and depending on where that's stored, that is a very big concern. In terms of what are the transferable skills, I think the team skills were definitely the best for me because I learned a lot about how um, to manage like what I'm doing and fitting that into what everyone else is doing as well. In like a business or health sector, that would be important in the teams and the agile development. Like I've done agile development in class, but I think here we all have like we're all very motivated to do this because we're not here like for a class. So I think being around motivated people is a new thing for me, which will help in other things.
Well, thank you very much. I think that that was an amazing project, and I can't believe how much everybody grow a lot. And I hope that you continue growing in the next years because everybody has a lot of potential, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have a question for Prithvi. I know you were the Q&A with the AI ML advisors a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure if I caught that in the presentation, but where did AI fit in this application? Or if not, what was the plan of including AI to make the application more user-friendly or more effective?
So the role of AI here is to create questions for the teacher. Like, so what we have right now is that it's implemented to whenever you send, yeah, a teacher can prompt the AI to give it a question, given like say a chapter or a paragraph, and then they could choose a difficulty level, whether it's multiple choice or free response, and then the AI will return all the question body as well as the correct and incorrect questions. And then what we want to implement is validation of that for how we want. So whenever a user gives an answer for the free response question, it should be able to answer, is that true or is that good enough or false? Maybe grade that as well. We talked with Dhruv, our ML advisor, on how we can do this because AI isn't good at grading things on a number scale. So that would be what other considerations we have to make whenever we're implementing that feature. But yeah, I think AI here is actually a pretty cool way to use it.
Great. Thank you. Any other question, comments? All right, so we're actually 10 minutes ahead. I'd like to ask the portfolio team if they'll be willing to start earlier, as we're scheduled for 6:40. We have about 10 more minutes before they start. Is the team here? Is anyone willing to start now with the presentation? Anybody from the portfolio team? Or any of their managers?
Measures. That would be Andrew and Manny.
Right.
But we could just make a break, say that 5 minutes break. Are they
Right,
supposed to?
I guess we'll take a short coffee break and we'll come back waiting for the team.
Perfect.
So we can get started, right?
Yep. Ready
Yes.
whenever you are, Andrew.
Let's see. You all able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is for the team portfolio. So we're gonna be presenting it, me and Manuel. So I guess we can just get started.
Yeah.
So the first question we can ask is, what's the problem? Right.
So yeah. So so the problem right now that we're trying to tackle, right, is the idea behind creating an ideal resume, especially in today's job market, and how we can use AI to essentially help out people to create the first resume or determine if there's any problems with it or, identify ways to improve upon it, right? And so, again, the current job market and the job market in general is a little bit challenging to determine, is my resume good or not? And so it can be somewhat of a challenge to figure out if you also qualify for a position as well, which sort of requires you to, maybe curate your resume simply just for like a single job position, right? And so we're hoping, to essentially optimize those resumes for your desired job and making sure that, you can be the most competitive and desirable like employee on the market, right? Based upon the qualifications that's being asked for a certain position and making sure that your resume, of course, is as best as it can be, right? So next slide. All right, so what is built so far? So we built a couple features, at least for now, that we can discuss right now. So I'll leave it to Andrew. Yep.
So the first thing we built was the welcome page. So basically this page is like the home page for the different team up apps, such as Portfolio and Readwell and FreeShare, I believe. And basically the content of the page is, as you can see on the right, is mostly like placement, or it's like placeholder text. So our vision is basically for like product 1 over there to have maybe portfolio, and then underneath it, product 2 will have Readwell now, and it'll basically describe what the different teams worked on and the sites they made. And yeah, that's basically it for that. And for the PDF extractor, on this page, we have the users who are able to upload their PDF files, such as their resumes, onto the site. And so when they click the upload button, the text from the resumes should be extracted, and then they should appear below in the text box, as you can see right there in the image. And then, so now once that text is extracted, you can interact with it, so you can copy it and even download it as a text file. And after that, you can extract it, or after extracting it, you can move on to the keyword analyzer.
Right. So the idea behind the text keyword analyzer, right, is to determine, essentially keywords within a given resume and identify things that, might be potentially helpful to either, continue to include or determine, good things that are currently going on within your resume text, right? So once you extract the resume text, you can essentially just put it into the keyword analyzer. And once you do so, right now we currently use a word bank, so there isn't necessarily like any AI involved at this current time. But the idea behind it really is that using that said word bank, you can identify, keywords within the given resume text, and it also analyzes the number of times the keyword is used within this the given text keyword analyzer, right? So yeah, go ahead, go next. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little bit more about the development process as well.
Yeah. So development welcome page. So basically, we were given on the first day like a Figma design of the welcome page and what it was supposed to look like, and we tried our best to match the aesthetic as best as we can. And a lot of the content within the page, like I mentioned before, is still like just placeholder text. But there is some text on the welcome page, in the About Us page that goes with it, sort of. And it talks about Team Up and their goals. And we tried working it with the rest of the team. Like we created a document that we were able to edit, and I was able to show it to the team and be like, hey, can y'all check this out? And yeah, and the right portion, you can see the Figma design right there. And for the PDF extractor, you can see it on the right. That's the original Figma design that the designers had come up with. But unfortunately, we were in like a bit of a time crunch, and we were pretty low on devs during that time. So it made it kind of difficult to create the original vision. But the original plan was to have a system where users were able to upload their resumes in PDF format. And then from there, we were going to use an AI model to parse through the resume text and find out what the user was missing from the job they wanted. So as you can see on the right side, you can upload the job description, title, and company name. And so from there, the AI model is supposed to give you suggestions on what you should add to your resume and what things you should keep.
Right. Finally, as well, right, the image on the right represents the Figma image that was provided to us that unfortunately we weren't able to necessarily implement at this current time. But again, the idea really is that once we extract the resume text, again, we would go ahead and analyze it to determine things such as keyword counts, and along with that, we also want to determine things such as the context of the situation where the text is located at, and identifying ways to make sure that it's in the best possible way. It's in the best possible position within the resume, and making sure that there isn't any errors, right? And so we hopefully, if and with whoever the future cohort would ever be, right, the idea would be to use AI models to analyze the resume text for you. Along with that, being able to combine both the text keyword analyzer and the PDF extractor into a singular like page, essentially, right? And so, and also, to go ahead and get rid of the word bank, get rid of the word bank itself as well, right? So, next slide. All right. So, what went wrong? What were the issues? Well, as you can tell, really, there's only really two of us, right? Originally, the team started off with it's supposed to be a big team, but with roughly a big team, but eventually it started to fizzle out. So I think we had like 10, 12 people. I'm not really sure. And I guess it just sort of, people just weren't necessarily there for whatever reason, or they might have had other things, right? And I totally get it, right? But there wasn't really like any form of accountability, if you will. And it sort of was a struggle to try and get things done, especially if you're relying on others to work on something for you. And if that isn't necessarily done, then unfortunately some features were just not able to come to fruition. And while it may seem that, while unfortunately the current product as it isn't necessarily up to standards as what it could have been, we were able to do the best that we could given the allocated time that we had, along with, the amount of people that was necessarily working on it towards the end, right? And so we were able to try our best with what we had, and at least we were able to deliver on some parts. And whoever the next cohort may come to be will hopefully be able to pick things up from there and be able to accomplish what we set out to do, right? Along with being able to be accountable and making sure that we are able to communicate at all times, right? So yeah. Next slide. Yeah.
No. So let me share sound real quick. Should be it. Move on here.
Hello, this is our demo.
Are you able to hear it? A little bit?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
For the portfolio team. So basically what we have here is our welcome page. This is what users will be greeted with when they enter our site. For now, it's just a template for what is to come. So basically our vision is for this welcome page or this homepage to be filled with the different products that TeamUp provides. So it could be portfolio and Readwell over here. And down here is just some text we made explaining what TeamUp does. And over here we have a nav bar up top. If you click on that, we also explain what the Apps for Good program is and what we do. And then next, we have the PDF extractor. So basically, we have a example resume that I pulled from online. So this is a chemical engineering student who's worked on the labs and has experience with MATLAB and MathCAD and all these different skills. And so if we were to upload that resume, we can upload it there and extract all the text that's within the resume so that's interactable and you can view it and then copy it or whatever you need to do with that. And then Manny can show us what the next step is.
All right, perfect. So overall, we were hoping to possibly get the PDF extractor and the process resume at the same time, but due to time constraints, we weren't able to do so. So for the purposes of this demo, we're going to go ahead and just simply process the resume in a separate page up in the nav bar, right? So currently right now, we are in the process resume page. And simply put, the purpose of the process resume is to look over the words in the text from the PDF extractor, right? So you'll get the resume and you'll be able to identify keywords that are that's currently being determined based upon a given word bank at this current time. Hopefully in the future, once we start to the next cohort implements the AI capabilities, the keywords will be determined based upon the job the applicant is looking for and whatever is currently on that resume, right? But for right now, we're going to go ahead and, like I mentioned, we're going to be using what is a word bank to determine those keywords, right? And simply put, you just got to put in your words into the resume analyzer and you can go ahead and analyze the resume for me. And as you can see right there in the analysis result, you'll be able to see the keywords that we've used for the word bank at least, right? So things like chemical engineering, MATLAB, Spanish, MathCAD, lab, etc., right? Along with that, you'll also get the number of occurrences those words occur within the resume text itself as well, right? So for chemical engineering, right, it appeared twice, and for like all the other ones, MATLAB, Spanish, and all that, it only appeared once. And this is sort of important, right? You know, because it sort of determines how credible and decent the resume is. And overall, given the time constraints we had and sort of the issues, the many major issues that we sort of had to run into, overall, we were still able to accomplish some stuff. And hopefully the next cohort that takes over will be able to do a lot, right? Given the current like blueprint that we have right here, right? With that being said, that is pretty much our demo. And this is Manny saying thank you very much, along with Andrew.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gilliam.
Awesome.
And I guess we can move on to the Q&A portion, right?
Yes, questions, comments?
Well, I have a couple of questions. First, an enormous congratulations because you made it. So no, well, that is amazing. I am extremely surprised in a extremely positive way. So I have two different questions for both of you. I would like to know what are the areas where you grow the most in the technical side, but also as a future professional, because you exercise your endurance during this process. So I would like to hear both things because they are not related. They are related, but they are different.
Can you say the question again, actually?
Yes, sorry. Technical side, what are the areas where you grow the most? And in the professional side, like collaboration, communication, what are the things that you think that you grow the most in those soft skills?
Okay, so I guess I can start off first then, if Andrew doesn't mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
All right, so I guess from like a technical side, I learned a lot more about like, I guess like creating like a full stack project, right? I've only ever really done like one project, and even then that was for a class that I was taking last semester in college, right? But throughout this experience, I learned a lot more about, you know, the agile format of being able to create software from the very beginning, understanding what needs to be done, and also learning like some new software techniques and new languages along the way that sort of reinforce my knowledge in the computer science field. And I've sort of had the opportunity to apply what I've learned thus far as well, while also picking up new skills along the way, right? And from a professional side, being able to work alongside other people was definitely nice for somewhat of a bit, right? But as you can tell, it sort of did fizzle out a little bit. But fortunately, I can say though that working alongside Andrew has been it was very pleasant for me, honestly. We were able to accomplish some stuff, right? And we were able to uh learn how to communicate and learn how to, combine our efforts and whatnot to make sure that, we can do what is possible and do the best that we obviously could do, right? And overall, I think I've sort of picked up a lot throughout this summer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I guess for me, I really enjoyed like in the technical aspects being like a full stack developer, like Manny said. I mostly like work on front end sort of stuff. I really like the design aspects of like apps and websites. But I think, learning the entire like mechanics behind it, it's like it was kind of refreshing, having a different perspective on when developing. And I guess for the professional aspects, I really have to like thank Valentina and Manny because they're like the cornerstone of the project for me. Like if I had any questions or like I need like some help on something, I could always ask them like for any advice or like what to do. And I guess it was really like a good learning experience working with people that you enjoy like talking to and things like that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Guess any other questions?
Yeah, well, first, thank you guys for the resilience. As you said, you started with the big picture with a larger team, and here you are, and you still had something to show. So thanks for keeping up and showing something. What I wanted to mention here is with the ecosystem of AI into HR and resumes parsing. This is a big deal and a very competitive market. It's a very simple question. Did you all do some research? Because I see potential in this being a product, right? LinkedIn, Microsoft, and all these large companies are adopting AI for specifically these types of applications. So very, very large and competitive market. Did you do some research to see if there are any similar tools that were out there, very, having the same features as what you have right now?
I'm not entirely sure. I never really delved too far into that. I'm not sure if Andrew did himself, or maybe he could probably answer something.
I know, like like the aspects of AI in like the job market. I know that a lot of like the job applications originally like they go through like a parsing system where an AI model detects different like resumes that the that people submit, and then they can like throw out whatever doesn't match like the requirements that they provide in the job description. So it's like sort of on the other side of that of what we're working on. But I feel like if we can use those like sort of same tools that they use in companies to like find the perfect candidate, we can like also use that and implement how to make like you yourself, like the student, look like a perfect candidate for whatever job. You get what I'm trying to
Hi,
say?
I also want to add something in this. I'm Abhinav. I was a product manager in this. So, to answer your question, yes, there are many competitors actually in the market, and we did some market research as well. So, namely, the products that are actually in the market are Resume Worded, JobScan, and a few of the other tools. The whole motive behind Resume Worded and JobScan was to actually enhance it with the help of AI more. They used to, have that one feature extra, like building the cover letter from the AI, or helping changing the lines in the resume with the help of AI, by actually adding some numbers, or making more use of verbs that are actually recognizable by ATS and everything. So, on comparison with the other tools, I think we do have a little bit journey to go, and but we are actually on the right path considering the features that we have implemented right now, and these will be very beneficial for having like a very basic model currently, and then we can actually implement AI to add more good features, which the other competitors are also trying to do.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right, right on time. Any comments? Any more questions? Yes. Mhm.
All right.
Any more?
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Right.
yeah. All right then though. Thank you so much though. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
the opportunity as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for your presentation. Thanks to the team. So this closes our demo day, our session. Thank you all for joining us today. And I also like to acknowledge and say thanks to one of our technical mentors, who happens to also be an advisor for AI and ML. Valentina here today has been in 3 teams working weekly with you guys, with Readwell, Portfolio, FreeShare. So she has been there very close and one-on-one with some of you. So I'd like to say a big thank you for your commitment to the teams and to the success, and really being there and answering the questions on Discord, etc. So thank you. And yeah, for the design team, I mean, I've seen some great designs, a lot of mock-ups that were built. So thanks for the designers, thanks for the UI, UX supporting team for really providing these amazing visuals and guidelines. And hopefully the student will use them and inspire themselves for upcoming iterations. Managers or product managers, thanks Abhinav, thanks for the managers for working with the students over the summer. Our marketing team as well, making sure this content is out. We're also going to keep working and, putting your work out there for people, potential employers, to see what you have done. You've spent 3 months working, and we want to make sure we make it worth your time. All the rest of the supporting staff, board members, everybody, thanks. So for the folks going back to school in a couple of days, well, have a good trip back to Aggieland College Station, and we hope for you to have an awesome fall semester, you guys. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Kiba.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kiba. Thank you, Valentina, as well, and Florencia.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank
You as
you.
well. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.